This evening, GWI commissioned $141 million well at Lusignan. APNU AFC says GECOM should refrain from holding new elections until the country's electoral system has been reformed. Lady Janet recommissioned after being out of service for the past 6 years. In the region, landslide in southern Peru buries dozens of homes, and internationally, LAVROV voices hope for compromise as Ukraine faces Russian onslaught. Greetings and welcome to another edition of Channel 2 Headline News Updates. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. Following the installation of a new well of over $441 million in Lusignan, East Coast Demerara, some 22,000 persons of Lusignan and Annandale will now be able to access potable water. Residents of Grassfield, Lusignan Pasture, Lusignan East and West, Annandale and Corbin Park will benefit from the well, which was drilled at a depth of 955 feet by GECOM Hardware Supplies and Construction Services. Delivering the feature address at the commissioning on Tuesday, March 15, President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali said the investment in the water sector forms part of the massive infrastructural transformation being carried out by the government.
We have spent $6.2 billion. $6.2 billion in the water sector. And over the next 2 years, we've earmarked $11 billion to be expended in this sector. And what do we want to achieve with this expenditure? We want to ensure that by the time we get to 2025, we have 100% access to good potable water and efficient supply of water all along the coast. 100% access.
President Ali highlighted that government has removed value-added taxes from water, reinstated the pensioner subsidy, and reduced the water tariff by 5% across the board. Meanwhile, Minister of Housing and Water Colin Crowell noted that despite the well was not originally budgeted for in the 2021 budget, the government made additional resources available for its construction. He further pointed out that the new well is another achievement of repairing and adding to critical infrastructure.
The commissioning of this well demonstrates our government's commitment to improving not only the lives of citizens, but also for the quality and the sustainability for potable water services across the coast and as well as all communities, riverine communities, hinterland communities, etc. In this regard, we are now exploring the feasibility of utilizing, for example, the Hope Canal as a sustainable potable water source. This approach is necessary as we confront climate change, as well as respond to the growing demands for more service connections.
Minister Crowell also made mention of the possibility of using the Hope Canal as a water source on the East Coast is being explored given the growing demands for the resource as well as the effects of climate change. Chief Executive Officer of GWI, Sheikh Bash, acknowledged the suffering of the communities following the collapse of the old Lusignan well in late 2020. He said this water distribution project adds to the many projects on the East Coast and in the hinterland regions.
For this year, we will be drilling a minimum of 8 wells on the coastal belt. And in the hinterland, over 30 wells will be drilled. So this is indeed a challenging assignment, because we want to satisfy the requirements of our strategic plan to move from 96% to 98% coverage, access to water.
The well has a design life of 30 years and is capable of producing 210 cubic meters of water per hour. With the exception of iron, the water quality examined by GWI's Scientific Services Department revealed that all tested parameters meet the World Health Organization standard for drinking water. However, iron removal facilities will be installed in the near future in the affected areas. The APNU AFC proposed GECOM should refrain from holding new elections until the country's electoral system has been significantly reformed. During a Zoom discussion with GECOM executives yesterday afternoon, a coalition team highlighted these concerns. The coalition thinks that electoral reforms are required and that any reforms must be based on international best practices and geared towards achieving credible results that are acceptable to the public. In addition, the coalition raised their concerns about allegations of breaches in the hiring process and breaches in the operation of issuing ID cards, along with transparency issues surrounding the continual registration procedure and the specific case of birth certificates used with varying features with no authenticity mechanism in place by GECOM. Nonetheless, APNU AFC has stated that its poll watchers will be present in the various offices to defend the interests of all Guyanese. GECOM has indicated that it will deliberate on the points mentioned, undertake comprehensive investigations, and disclose its results. Stick around after the break. Lady Janet, recommissioned after being out of service for the past 6 years, and Ghana Police Force is increasing security around the Starbrook Market in the midst of a U.S. Embassy warning to their personnel to avoid the area.
Maison Francois is the chocolate paradise of Guyana. From the moment you enter our store, you are welcomed by the sweet aroma of Belgian chocolate, pastries, and other artisanal treats handmade by our European-trained chef. Our convenient location at the City Mall is the perfect place to take that special someone or to take home a little sweetness. So treat yourself with a taste of Paris in the heart of Georgetown, only at Maison Francois.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
In a world filled with copycats and ever-changing trends, make your property stand out with unique concrete moldings. Different, exquisite designs carefully handcrafted to suit your style, with various customizable and antique and modern designs made at our factory. Antique and Modern Molding Establishment. We make your property outstanding. We make and install all moldings anywhere in Guyana.
The best quality, affordable prices, on-the-spot quotes, and no hidden fees.
Call us or WhatsApp us at 684-5050 or email us at modernestab@gmail.com. Antique and Modern Molding Establishment, made to stand out.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
Welcome back. With schools around the country set to resume on a full-time basis in the near future, Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony is urging parents to have their children vaccinated for optimal protection against the deadly virus during the COVID-19 update today.
One of the things, and every parent should be concerned that if your child is not vaccinated, then there will be that risk of them getting the infection. Although in children we have seen a milder form of the infection. Nevertheless, we want to offer to our children maximum protection, which means they should get the vaccine. Because of their age, the ministry cannot administer that vaccine without the explicit permission of the parent or guardian of that child. And in a lot of instances, while we would have had campaigns at schools and so forth, we are not able to vaccinate a lot of children because they did not get permission from their parents. So I would urge parents that before school reopens, that they bring their child or children to one of the vaccination sites where we can administer the vaccine to them so that they can be protected. And, I really hope that we'll see a better uptake in this age group.
Quite recently, President Dr. Irfan Ali announced the removal of the COVID-19 restrictions around the country. Despite the restrictions are being relaxed and the country is returning to normalcy, citizens are urged to continue to be aware that a medical pandemic is still ongoing and should continue to take precautions to keep themselves safe. After several years of numerous robberies and crimes at the Stabroek Market area and several attempts to remedy the situation, the Guyana Police Force is at it again. This time, the Police Commissioner of 4A Division, Assistant Commissioner Simon McBean, is teaming up with the Mayor and City Council's Chief Constable as they sought to implement strategies to bring public safety to the market area. Both agency representatives went on a strategy walkabout in the Stabroek Market area with other officers, mapping out ideas for coordination and policing in and around the public thoroughfares. The Guyana Police Force will immediately offer resources to the City Council to ensure that there is a visible police presence in the affected areas and will continue to collaborate to improve public safety. This announcement of the operation comes just 2 days after the U.S. Embassy issued a statement warning their mission personnel to avoid the Stabroek and border market areas. The statement further stated that the city of Georgetown is rated critical for crime. Incidents of robberies, sexual assault, vehicular accidents, and homicides have occurred particularly in high-risk areas after dark. U.S. mission personnel may not independently visit Stabroek Market. After being out of service for the past 6 years, the dental boat Lady Janet was recommissioned on Monday and is expected to provide services for more than 2,000 residents in the Upper and Lower Pomeroon areas. The boat was refurbished to the tune of $2.8 million. The fully equipped boat will be providing services such as oral examination, cleaning, filling, oral health education, and extraction. The boat will be operating out of the region on Mondays and Tuesdays. Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony, speaking at the recommissioning, said that this service would boost dental care in the region as it would reach persons living in far-flung areas. Senior dental surgeon for Region 2, Subrebra Harichan, said she intends to focus more on providing dental care to school children. She is confident that the region will have better services, especially in the area of dentistry. The Minister of Local Government and Regional Development, Nigel Darmlal, and other senior officers from the Ministry of Health and the Regional Democratic Council of Region 2 were also present at the simple ribbon-cutting event at the charity waterfront. Don't go away after the break. Landslides in northern Peru buries dozens of homes and protest flares in prices hit Sri Lanka as government readies for IMF talks. But before that, here's the bridge retraction schedule.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Maison Francois is the chocolate paradise of Guyana. From the moment you enter our store, you are welcomed by the sweet aroma of Belgian chocolate, pastries and other artisanal treats handmade by our European-trained chef. Our convenient location at the City Mall is the perfect place to take that special someone or to take home a little sweetness. So treat yourself with a taste of Paris in the heart of Georgetown, only at Maison Francois.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
In a world filled with copycats and ever-changing trends, make your property stand out with unique concrete moldings. Different, exquisite designs carefully handcrafted to suit your style, with various customizable and antique and modern designs made at our factory. Antique and Modern Molding Establishment. We make your property outstanding. We make and install all moldings anywhere in Guyana.
The best quality, affordable prices, on-the-spot quotes, and no hidden fees.
Call us or WhatsApp us at 684-5050 or email us at modernestab@gmail.com. Antique and Modern Molding Establishment, made to stand out.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 4-6 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news in the region and around the world. Rescuers in northern Peru are searching for townspeople buried by a landslide, part of a hill collapse in the northern Peruvian town of Retamas on Tuesday, burying dozens of homes, with harrowing footage on social media showing whole apartment buildings being covered by the landslide. Al Jazeera's Sarah Kurat reports.
This is the moment the land gave way. People watch in disbelief. And within seconds, dozens of homes are buried underneath tons of mud and rock. The remote community springs in action to rescue neighbours, friends and family while they wait for emergency services to arrive.
Doctors and nurses from nearby districts are already at the landslide zone. The Minister of Defence is arriving, along with the National Institute of Civil Defence and rescuers, doctors and nurses too. We acted immediately as soon as we heard of this incident.
Heavy rain is thought to have caused the landslide. But the area high up in the Andes where miners live has always been deemed unsafe. Building on riverbanks and hillsides prone to landslides is common in Peru and often illegal. It's all part of systematic corruption in a country where on Tuesday Congress approved the start of impeachment proceedings against the president. Pedro Castillo in Parliament denied opposition accusations of corruption and bribing in exchange for public projects.
Above the ideological and political differences, there are the interests of the homeland and the future of our citizens. This is the moment to put an end to the petty disputes and work for great national objectives.
Soon after, he wrote this message, reassuring the public that he'll be visiting the landslide himself. But for a community that went through a similar event in 2009, they are now reliving a nightmare as the number of missing loved ones continue to rise. Sarah Khairat, Al Jazeera.
Internationally, Tuesday's protests came as the government of Sri Lanka is heavily in debt and struggling to pay for essential imports. The 2019 Easter bombings on churches and hotels killed 270 people and hit vital tourism revenue. The pandemic, which followed, further hampered recovery. Al Jazeera's Maneli Fernandez reports.
Angry, frustrated, and desperate, Sri Lankans surrounded the president's office in Colombo, fed up having to queue for food, medicine, cooking gas, and vehicle fuel, paying 30 to 60% more for many items. Millions are struggling to make ends meet and blame President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and the government.
Gotabaya Rajapaksa must be chased out. That's what this river of people wants.
In time to come, people all will come to the ground, to the roads, and they will protest this government to chase out immediately.
The opposition Samagijana Balavege organized the latest protest following weeks of similar demonstrations around the country. The SJB is challenging the president to turn things around or step down.
Are you ready to send this government home? Is the country ready to send it home? Friends, with this great people's power, we will begin the journey to chase out this government.
Sri Lanka has had a worsening economy for the past 3 years. The 2019 Easter bomb attacks on churches and hotels killed 270 people and hit vital tourism revenue. The pandemic which followed further hampered recovery. Analysts blame unsustainable debt, low revenue, a foreign exchange crisis, financial mismanagement and corruption for aggravating dire problems.
We are sick of this government because we are suffering, the children. They have no milk, they have this, nothing, while they are enjoying their life.
Sri Lanka's foreign reserves have fallen to their lowest levels in recent history. Fuel has run out to keep a steady supply of electricity, and the government doesn't have money to pay for vital imports. After months of rejecting calls to seek an international bailout, the government appears ready to seek help. For months, Sri Lankans have complained about shortages and price increases. But things have got so bad now, they say, they don't have a choice but to take to the streets. Professionals, executives, farmers, fishermen, housewives and day wage earners, all hoping their voices will be heard. Maneli Fernandez, Al Jazeera, Colombo.
And finally, there are signs that while the war goes on, the ongoing talks between Ukraine and Russia are making progress. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov says there is hope for a compromise. Ukraine's president says Moscow's demands are becoming more realistic. Al Jazeera's Zain Bashravi reports.
3 weeks of war, of shelling, of cities besieged. Ukrainian defenses have slowed the pace of the Russian advance, but battle lines continue to move to new areas. The head of the regional administration says civilian targets in Zaporizhia were reportedly hit overnight. The war following the path of more than 3,000 evacuees who fled there from the besieged city of Mariupol. Russian ceasefire violation, Ukraine's deputy prime minister says, are stopping civilians from using humanitarian corridors and getting to safety.
Yesterday, they captured the emergency hospital and took 400 people hostage. Medics in Mariupol They are shooting from inside the hospital. It is a threat for movement of people down humanitarian corridors. We've sent a request to the Red Cross. Under these conditions, we cannot bring people out safely.
Ukrainian drone strikes continue to exact a heavy price on Russian forces. More Russian hardware lies abandoned, following fierce fighting in neighborhoods around Kyiv. The capital observing a 34-hour curfew to prepare for an expected Russian assault.
Today is a special and dangerous moment. Movement through the city is prohibited without special passes. You can only go out to reach a shelter. The curfew will apply until 7 a.m. on March 17th. Therefore, I ask all Kyiv residents to prepare for the fact that they will have to be at home for 2 days, or in case of an alarm, in a shelter.
Diplomacy remains the only way to end this war, says Ukraine's leader.
It is important. It is difficult but important because any war ends in an agreement. Meetings continue. As I am told, the positions in the negotiations sound more realistic. However, there still needs to be more time for decisions to be in Ukraine's interests.
The west of the country has avoided the worst of the violence, but the largest single missile attack so far happened at a military training camp in LAVROV, only about an hour's drive away from here. Residents say that unless there is a ceasefire, it's not a matter of if, but when the fighting makes its way here. Zain Basravi, Al Jazeera, Lviv.
And that is it for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. That is all for this edition of Channel 2 Headline News Updates. Tune in on Thursday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.